Hi, everybody, and welcome back. My next interview is the Mr. Bleh. Let's try that. I'll edit that out. Bleh. I like to do blooper reels. Okay, I come back now. Okay. Hi, everybody. My next interview is with the Mr.
You are drunk. Don't lie to yourself.
I'm not drunk.
That's your third glass of wine.
Let's try that again.
Sure.
I'm going to try this again. Okay.
Serious.
Hi, everybody. Welcome back. My next interview is with Mr. Isaac Matthews. Isaac and I would go way back, I believe, when he was 16 years old with blonde hair. Just adorable.
Blonde hair?
Blonde hair. You had like multicolor hair. I don't even know.
That's right.
I heard about you. Like I heard about you. You know, like I think I was
only good things, I hope.
It was good things. I heard from you from Sam to Giuseppe's told me about you, and then you came into the studio really super shy. You had auditioned for Canadian Idol and you made it to the top 200, I believe, or whatever, and you had to go back and re-audition, and I was kind of thrilled. I thought, oh, this is great. And then the history was there because you were like, you're just adorable, you know?
Oh, well, shucks.
And you're just adorable. And so I've known you for quite a long time, actually. It's kind of cool.
Yes.
You did a I think it was one of my Broadway shows that I did at the, what's that place called? Where Wacky Wings is. Prosvita. You did my first production with Prosvita. That was really like a long time ago. And then you you kind of did lots of stuff. Then you were my assistant. And you know, and you flourished and you went off to school. Went to cruises. You've upgraded yourself constantly.
Done a lot of stuff.
And then the thing is, but I love the thing I love the most about you is that, you know, like I really truly believe every time that you put anything on Instagram or vlogging, whatever, is always to help other people out. I just don't. You're just like the self-help kind of guy. I don't know if you realize how much you make a person's day when you put your stuff out there. I hope you know that.
Well, that's nice.
I mean,
I'm partially doing it right now because I'm just losing my mind and I'm bored. But if it's making an impact, that's good.
What do you think I'm doing this for? I'm just kidding.
Win-win.
No, it's a win-win. But I think at this point, like really, that's all we have right now to connect with people is through the internet, right?
Yeah,
you're doing that, and that's pretty darn awesome. So I know, like, well, we're gonna just recap because we had a previous interview, but I really wanted to do it over again because you were my first one, and I really, really sucked at it. So I said I need to have Isaac back and just do this right this time. So let's talk about what happened before the pandemic, and then let's talk about what's happened after. Okay?
Yeah. So before this all happened, so for the past, I'll throw people way back just in case they don't know. For the past 4.5 years, I've been working for Celebrity Cruises as a vocalist primarily, and then I got into their activities and their event coordinating and whatnot. So that's been the last 4.5 years, but in the last few months, right before all this happened, I was actually on a ship called the Apex, which is Celebrity's brand new ship. They're just about to launch it. And we were in France in the dockyard, literally putting brand new things together, trying to getting really, really amped up for our launch on April 1st is when we were supposed to launch this brand new exciting ship.
April 1st, really?
And then, and then everything hit the fan and it was super confusing and weird and we didn't know what was going to happen. But then eventually the company got us all home and now I'm in Thunder Bay where you are and I am, and home is for me. So I'm here with my parents. Isolated in quarantine and getting by.
Okay, so you are like the king of Instagram. So the funniest thing I've seen you do lately is jump in the lake. That was kind of interesting.
Oh yes, yeah, that's the earliest I've ever done. It was
exhilarating. Just curious because I to me it was like death, but I don't know. You tell me what you felt.
No, it was the best. It makes you feel alive.
I can imagine.
Definitely, and in retrospect, I think I could have stayed in the water longer. But before I even jumped in, I was already thinking about how I was going to get out. So I came up, got out. But I think I could have manned up a little and got in there.
But it's quite the run to the sauna too. My God.
Yes.
Yes. And then you're funny because you got there. It's like 85 degrees. That's not like a sauna. Like you said, it was like a mild day. It was a mild day.
It was supposed to be hot, but my whole body was cold.
I know the whole build up for that was incredible. Like it was incredible. I watched it. I was laughing. I couldn't wait. Like the way that you set it up is I couldn't wait for you to actually do it. I'm like, oh
Oh
my
yeah.
God, he did it. Like, what? You know, that's the coolest thing. And just the constant sharing that you do on Instagram. I mean, people go see his Instagram. What is your Instagram, your account?
Right now it's your host Isaac at your host Isaac.
You've got
I host
to
on the ship. That's why I do that.
you've
So
got to
people can
follow this
remember.
guy because honestly, it's entertaining, it's funny. The one that you said, I'm talking to you, and I went, okay, it's not gonna be. I feel
Yeah,
good about
it was
myself
a
right
real
now.
moment. Like it started from a genuine moment. I was walking around and I was thinking about the people I missed and that who I'd like to hang out with. But I didn't want to hang out with them because they were people. There were specific things about each person that I was thinking of that I liked. And then I had this kind of epiphany. I was walking in nature, and as you do, I thought of the fact that like we don't have relationships with people because they're people or humans. We have relationships with them because of that thing that makes them that person. Like
Absolutely,
people
get
hang
it.
out with Denise Krawcheck because of the things that make her Denise Krawcheck, right?
Yeah,
So
a little
it was kind of just
wackadoodle,
I
a
just thought
little bit
I'd
of wackadoodle there,
yeah.
but I'm
So I
okay.
thought I'd send a message out to the masses so
That's
they could
great.
at
No, I think
least
that's really
take a second to
wonderful.
realize that they're special.
If anything,
Yeah,
and this is during the times where it can be very difficult at this time, it's bringing a smile to my face. So I can imagine it's bringing smiles to a lot of people's faces. That's got the kind of the
yeah,
thing
good.
that you, what I really love about you is the fact that you are willing to explore the world, like this, the mind, the behaviors of people, the understanding of people,
Mhm.
and being intuitive about it. And I think I appreciate that about you because it makes us aware of it too as well. Like you maybe
Mhm.
talking about it, but we're grasping and we're taking what you're saying in, and it's kind of enlightening for me to listen to you. So you do have a gift
Yeah,
there. I hope you know that.
I really appreciate that. I am obsessed with human nature and trying to develop it and better it. So that's good that someone is listening.
Well, I used to watch your vlogs earlier and earlier ago, and I hope everybody can follow
Yeah,
you now. Like I want to encourage people to follow you because you've got some. It's almost like it's great because you don't get too deep into lots of dark stuff. You get really more into
mm,
the things that can make us better, like the brighter stuff that life can give us, you know. And that's even through your
yeah.
nature, the nature walks that you do, and the acknowledgement of our surroundings around us. You went to so many beautiful places and visited so many places while
Yeah,
you were cruising. So to share that with the world, vicariously, I lived through you through like many years as you were doing
yeah,
that. So
good.
I totally appreciate that. And I
Yeah,
think
I
that's,
love that.
yeah, then that's I think that's the message you're trying to portray out there. I know you are. That's what you want to
Yeah.
do, right? And I think that's important. So I appreciate it. So if I appreciate it, then the world does. I have
Well, yeah,
that
it's
much
definitely been
power.
one of the things when I'm sharing, like, there's two sides to look at at least my old Instagram. When I was on a ship, I'd go to all these beautiful places and I'd post pictures. And there's a one way of looking at it of being like, oh, this guy's a douche. He's showing all the beautiful places he is. But I promise you, anyone watching this and anyone who goes back and looks at the pictures, it's me sitting on like a cliff looking at a sunset being like, who do I think I am that I'm here? Like I shouldn't be here right now.
Well, you
So
know,
look at how weird this is.
and you know
That's how
that's
I
the
see
thing.
everything.
It's true. Like if anyone knows you, and I know you very well, I've been knowing you for so long. None of anything that you do is pretentious by any stretch. It's very real and from the heart. Like you've seen some dark. You've been through some challenges in your life. You know that. So
Yeah.
when you go to the
Yeah.
other side and you appreciate the things that have been given to you right at that particular moment, I mean, how great is
Oh yeah.
that? And I think we have to look
Yeah.
at that. But we have to look at that as far as what we're going through right now, like with this coronavirus. You
Yeah.
know, we have to look at the other
Absolutely.
side, being
Any
the. Go ahead.
Yeah. I was just, what you're just gonna say is we always come out of the hardest things with a different perspective and a better perspective on what is amazing in our lives, right? And this I think is going to change a lot of people's perspective about what is available to them in real life. Like even going to a restaurant is like, oh, I went to a restaurant last night.
Okay,
So
I
it's going
was.
to be interesting.
It's so true. Like I went. You know, Marilyn, my friend Marilyn.
Hmm.
And it was her 25th wedding anniversary yesterday, and we had did a parade in front of her house, and I got a sign, and I gave her a
Yeah.
gift, and I couldn't hug her, and I just
Oh.
cried all the way home. And I went, but the fact remains is like I was so excited. I had somewhere to go. I had something to do.
Yeah.
It was bringing
Yeah.
joy into somebody's life, and
That's just it.
I got something to do. And then I went to social distance with my sister back in the backyard and laughed. And I said,
Hmm.
the things that we take for granted are not like the expensive things, not the money, not the tangible things. It's the human connection with people. I miss that. You must miss that where you are.
Yeah, well, definitely. I mean, I'm lucky because I'm isolated with my parents,
Mm-hmm.
so we get along. And then a lot of the people I spend time with are very present online, so it's very easy to be like, "Hey, I could use a talk," and then we just get a little Zoom thing like this, which is great. But no, I love people. Like my favorite thing in the world is people. So it's challenging, and I'm going to be very hyper and excited when we get back to real life and I can be in crowds.
Me
That's for
too.
sure.
Oh God, you can't believe how grateful we'll be when that happens. It really would be.
Yeah.
And this, I don't think it's natural to be apart from people. I just don't think it's natural.
No.
It's really fighting all of our natural instincts in us, you know? And I think that's why I
Yeah.
strive for this so much more to say we have the hope. Like, you know, that's when you got to look at perspective. You look at perspective of what's important, and it is the relationships with people. It's not
Yeah.
like the how much money you've got in the bank or what you have in the backyard or when you travel. It's all about those connections.
Yeah.
So you know,
Yeah.
like that,
The
and
real
I
things.
exactly, and you know, just having just a conversation and something
Yeah.
relatable. And that's kind of probably what we're looking at, is the fact that everything's going to be very relatable to everybody. This conversation is going
Yes,
to be relatable
definitely.
across the board for everybody, right?
Yeah, well, it's the
um
first time there's a global consciousness. Like every single person on the earth is feeling and going through the same thing. That's never been in the history of mankind. Has that been a thing? That's
I
mental.
know. And I think this is because you can get very depressed watching the news. I'm learning very
Mm.
hard way not to watch the news. I learned something too as well. Do something that you can control and you can change.
Yeah,
Basically, that's
yeah,
the
very
rule.
important.
Yeah. And what?
Yeah, and
And
it's hard because you want to get the right information, but you don't know where it's always coming from. So
no, everybody has a conspiracy theory about something, and you could think you can have it in your brain, and you think that's the truth, and all of a sudden somebody gives you an alternate thing, and I went, oh, okay, well that's
yeah.
bumming me out. Seriously, ew.
Yeah, I
Like
avoid that at all
me
costs.
too. And I think like being responsible is very important. Like to think, be mindful of human beings and making sure that you're not putting anyone in danger is definitely the number
Yeah.
one priority when it comes to this.
Hmm.
But your hopes, like, tell me what your hopes are. Like, I know that, you know, it's going to be a little bit of a long haul before we actually get back to normal, but tell me what you would like to
Yeah.
see.
At least in the world after all this. I mean, there's a part of me that really loves what's happening in terms of time and space. Like I think the world we live in right now is so rushed and so hurried, and there's never time, and oh, I don't have time for this, I don't have time for this. I think there's something very incredible to be learned in the fact that like if we can, like obviously we don't need it at this extreme, but we've been living at this extreme. If we can somehow find this place where like people don't have to work so much and they can have the time with their families, or I think it was I think the actor Idris Elba, I don't know if it was him for sure, but I think it
Yes.
was.
But he
He
ended up getting
suggested
Corona too,
that,
though.
oh, did he?
Yeah, he
Well,
did. He got Corona. Yeah.
hopefully he gets better. But he said something in like an interview where he was like, I think for us as a way of us honoring coronavirus happening, we should do an annual like 2 weeks off of life. Like the whole world annually on a date has to take 2 weeks off. Everything closes, so you have to prepare. You get your groceries, you get everything for 2 weeks, and everything stops, and the whole world breathes for 2 weeks. I think that would be amazing. I think we could use that.
That would be totally incredible. It's totally incredible.
Yeah.
I've learned great things about that. I've looked at how I want to see myself and my business progress into the future, and how I'm decided like I just need some time off to breathe. And I love to cook,
Hmm.
and I like to be a normal person sometimes, you know. And I found that I was like 24/7 doing my job, becoming a workaholic, and you know, losing sight. And somebody asked me that question. They said, Denise, if you had to do a wheel and what percentage would you put things in? And if you
Yeah.
did a wheel, my right now, 75% of my life would be just business.
Yeah.
And that's not right. That's not right. That's not balanced. It's got to be
Yeah.
much more balanced than that.
And And it's hard for you too, because your business, unlike a lot of people, is your passion. So you love doing it,
Exactly.
but it's because you love it that you don't realize you're getting off balance, because there's still a part of you that's being fulfilled, right?
That's right.
So
That's
it's
exactly
more
right.
difficult for you to recognize it. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, and but it really puts in perspective, because then you lose yourself in this, in the process.
Yeah.
You lose
Yeah,
the
exactly.
you're just
And you stop loving it.
exactly, and then there should be other interests inside, just besides the business, that you should have in your life that balance you out.
Yeah.
Like you used to say, like when a kid goes to um, when my kids were growing up, it was not just about hockey. It was about the fact that they could take an instrument, they can do, other things besides just being a hockey player,
Mm.
and it makes them a well-rounded individual. And we say that to our
Yeah.
kids, but why can't we be that as adults? You know, there's like the
Yeah.
responsibility, of course, to
Yeah.
provide for you think about the providing for people and making sure you have a roof over your head and food on the table, but you also have to recognize that you got to be your whole person yourself too, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And you'll
Yeah,
always work better and happier if you are that, if you find that balance.
I would agree 100%. 100%. What makes you think that you can be balanced? What makes the thing for yourself that can balance you?
Um, well, over the last year, I've really been business focused, and I went into it with the mentality of I'm going to work really, really, really hard for like 3 years, and then it'll kind of slow down once I hit this goal I have. And it was becoming very apparent to me right before all this happened that that wasn't working. I needed to find out, because I wanted to make a good impression, so I was putting in extra hours and working really hard and doing what I needed to stand out. But it slowly started chipping away at like my joy of doing it, and then that would come through in my work.
Of
So
course.
whether I was on paper doing the job well, people were recognizing that I wasn't the same spirit I was when I would come in at the start and at the end. So mine's going to have to be a daily battle. Like I need to figure out, like if we're getting into details, what I've started to realize now here during all this is my morning routine is very, very, very important to me. Like it sets me up, and then I can do whatever I need to do. So I'm going to implement that when I go back to work, of like, if that takes me waking up a bit earlier so I can have that morning to myself, then that's what I need. But
Right.
it's very important to me now. So
That's really really good. I recognize that to myself. My mornings are sort of like a secret thing. Russ and I have a really lovely breakfast every morning. That's like our thing.
mm,
And we watched a
yeah,
little bit of the shows just to get some, perspective on the world, but we also lighten up with a little bit of humor, because that's definitely important. And then we plan our day, but
yeah,
that morning is like sacred to us. It always has been. And when I was
yeah,
working so much between 12 and 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock at night coming home, that was the only time to connect as a couple. And
yeah,
I didn't want to lose that. I didn't want to lose that moment, that time. And we still do it. And we stay still in the same house, and we have like we have our own lives. He knows how to separate that part very well. We both
yeah,
balance
yeah,
each other
yeah,
out that way. But I'm a different philosophy. I'm only me and Russ. Like my kids are grown and they're gone out of the house, right? So it's kind of like
yeah.
you got to reinvent yourself somehow. Doing other
Yeah,
things.
and I really find that those mornings are the only time you have full control. Like for the first 2 hours of my day, I'll say hi to my parents when I go get coffee or whatnot, but I don't really spend time with them at first. I'll say hour, not 2 hours. First hour of the day, I don't really commit to being with other people. I don't look at my phone. I don't look at anything. I just like read and meditate and do my own little like workout thing in the morning, because it's me and it sets me up, and I'm not at the will of anyone else or anything else to alter my state of mind. So then once I do that and I set that foundation, then I can go into the world, and then you get hit with negativity or opinions or this or that or whatever work, and you can handle it better because you've set your
That's
foundation.
a
I think it's so important.
That's a really good discipline. I like that very, very much.
Yeah.
I'm a habit of looking at my phone first thing in the morning, like I said, missed out something. And meanwhile,
Yeah.
like there is times though I have gotten up and gone for a walk right away and just
Yeah.
put music on, and sort of like that was nice, because then that sets the tone. Like what I don't care what happened in the rest of the world at this point. I'm gonna enjoy the morning and the
Yeah.
beautiful sun, beautiful surroundings around me. It does set the day off lovely. It does. Yes, you have
Yeah.
to.
And a lot of people talk about it. There's a guy named Simon Sinek who's written a lot of books and does a lot of talks online. and he gets really into the science of it, like about the brain chemicals and what happens when we're scrolling through, and there's the likes and all the serotonin and dopamine and all these chemicals that go on in your brain. And if you wake up in the morning, you start scrolling, if there's one picture that makes you like feel jealous, or one picture that's negative, or one subconsciously without even knowing it, your brain is changing because you're looking at that and you're feeling things that you shouldn't be feeling before you've even woken up really to the world. So it can be, not that it's like a crazy dangerous thing. Sometimes I do it too, but I notice the days that I spend the time to set my foundation are easier and more efficient than the days that I roll over and scroll through my phone for half an hour.
That makes
you know what I mean?
complete sense. You know, and like the negativity, it can eat away with you the whole day, and that could just play on you for so long, but you don't understand how much it's taking your life away from you, like the moments in time of just belly aching over things that you cannot control. And that's just so much wrong energy, you know, and you can wallow and wallow in all this, and then it just takes away that the amount of quantity of time that you could have got and made it a quality of time, you know. Like it's just I think that to me is kind of like wasted time for me. And I don't know, maybe that's
and it's just hard to motivate. Like I find, because I do a workout in the morning, and I've recognized this, is if I roll over and I scroll through something and I see, because I follow a lot of like fitness pages on Instagram, if I see like a body of a guy who's like jacked, immediately, like without even knowing, I'm just like, oh, I don't look anything like that. And then already I'm unmotivated to do my workout that I need to do to maybe then one day look like that or feel like that. You know what I mean? So without knowing it, I've sabotaged my whole day just by scrolling. So I'm trying to break that habit.
It's a really delicate situation with our own libidos, our own ways of living, like our own psyche. We can psych ourselves out so instantaneously if we wanted to. You know, it's a constant battle, especially if you are kind of a person that can go from ups and downs so quickly. Like I cry at the drop of a hat, but I can laugh and I could cry in the moment. Like I'm all over the map, right?
Yeah.
But it's true. Yeah, we know that's the truth.
Yeah, no.
But the even keel stuff, I'm starting to really appreciate more, because it just like, I'm at the age now, and I'm old, and we know this because we already discussed this many times. I've talked to everybody. I'm not that old.
35, 36?
Yeah. Which would really be odd, because I'm 5 years older than you. That's just wrong. That's wrong. But what I'm saying is that I'm at the age where I don't care if I embarrass myself. I just don't care.
Good.
I don't.
Good.
I laugh at myself. I've done stupid things, and I learned to laugh at myself because of it. And you know what it does? It just gives you a break. It gives you a break of not being so heavy on yourself and not to worry about stuff like this, you know, like it's such a great relief. And I mean, it took years for that to happen, but I have never been a one, and I have to be honest, that would just stay away from the world when I'm embarrassed by something. I just can't. I laugh it off and say, okay, I meant to do that. No, seriously, it's for me, it's just I'm really grateful for that, because I don't let that sit.
Yeah.
But let anybody else go through the hell, and they're going through hell, and they're having issues with it. My heart breaks for them, because I just wish they can give a bit of a confidence that I feel about what happens to me. So I take their problems on more than I take my own problems. It's kind of true.
It's common with people.
It's common.
People do it.
Yeah, it is what it is, right? That their problems would be more my problem than my own problem would be. That just doesn't make sense, but it's true. I guess perhaps that's why I really wanted to do this kind of thing, because I really felt like, and you know, as people and yourself, Isaac, I don't think anybody really, like, they'll look at you and they'll see your Instagrams, and they'll make a sort of like a judgment of who you are. But this is kind of like really a nice idea to see who you are as a person, to give you that opportunity to say, this is you as a person going through this as anybody else is. And, you know, your insightfulness is very helpful at this point. You know, we have to, I just feel like that we have to just reach out to people and help them through this process. And, you know, they may all agree with what we say, and they're probably living it for all we know, but there could be that one person who said, you know, you said something that really, really connected with me. And I really so appreciate that, because now I can look forward to something, blah, blah, whatever that may be. Right.
Yeah, and I can't speak for you, but I'm sure you agree. If there's anyone who happens to watch these videos or whatever, and you just want to like talk about something or expand on something that we've talked about, just send us a message on like the world is so connected now. You can message me on Instagram. No one ever messages me, so I'll see it in a second, and just I'll be there. Like I love talking to people. I love it.
Exactly. And that's why I do those little weekly updates. I do weekly updates and just to see how everybody's doing. And I always say that to reach out is, and sometimes the people don't like to because they don't want to bring anybody down. And I get that, completely understand that. But it's
Yeah,
okay because we all have those moments. And
yeah,
sometimes it's really nice to help somebody out. And it's really nice to just talk it out and you learn. I find I learn problem solving by solving other people's problems or
yeah,
help them try to solve
yeah,
problems.
absolutely. And
You know?
I've I've almost obsessively dedicated my life to building a foundation of like optimism and joy. So it takes a lot to drag me down. You can come to me with anything and I'll be okay. I'm there. I'm here for you or anyone who needs it. Trust me.
Honestly, it used to drive me crazy, but now I appreciate it.
It takes a lot.
No,
It
seriously,
takes a lot.
I'm just teasing. But no, it's true. Like your optimism is almost over. Like it's almost like, okay, I get it. You're pretty optimistic. Good for you. You know, when you don't want to be and somebody else is, and you're like, oh,
That's
geez, okay. But
beautiful.
you know, as you evolve and you grow into something, you so appreciate that so much because it really does drag you out of the darkness. It really does. Forces you out there.
Yeah.
So anyway, I would say that I'm really glad we had this interview again because this is a far
Yeah.
better interview. I felt more in depth,
It's got better flow to it.
I really appreciate all the positiveness you bring into the world, Isaac, and everybody really should take you in your Instagram accounts and just experience it like I do and smile and laugh
God,
and
I'm
you're
gonna have
just
to up my
funny.
content after this.
Pardon? What's that?
I'm gonna have to turn up my content to
Yes,
make it
well,
better.
yeah, I'm really that much of an influencer or whatever. I have like
There
60
we go.
views. 60 views seems like I really hit viral. It's whatever.
That's 60 more
But
followers than I had.
well, it's gonna. I hopefully it'll start picking up. But anyway, I really appreciate this, and I you know how much I love you. You're one of the best people I know. Seriously, with all my heart, you are just like the full package of what a human being should be. That's all I got to say about that.
Oh, that's flattering.
Yeah, so
I have
I
my
love you
faults,
very
trust me.
much, and we will keep in contact. But thank you, my friend.